Hello everybody and welcome back to another Wizard101 video. Now you may be wondering, it has been months since I've done one of these, so I wouldn't be surprised if half of you don't even know what this is. Basically, I'm doing a KI Live rundown. Now I do this every time they do a KI Live, and the reason why you probably haven't seen these in a while is because they haven't done a KI Live since mid-December. But they did one yesterday, and I was like, yes, it's time. I can do another KI Live rundown because I do love doing these to see what KingsIsle's thinking and to share with you guys my thoughts on what KingsIsle's thinking. Basically, the Atmoplex has this nice little list that they post every time they do one of these of basically the major talking points, and obviously I just yoink that and I'm like, yes, this is my talking point. Obviously, go follow the Atmoplex and subscribe to him in the description below. But that's basically enough intro. Let's actually get into what this video is, which is the rundown. KingsIsle is growing a lot. They've had positions open and more later this year, which is integral to their goals. That's really good to hear. I'm really happy, especially if they get some for Pirate101 and we can start developing some games again. I'm really excited. I definitely do think we'll see a pick up of pace when it comes to updates, potentially, at least in terms of more, because the team has been very small recently, so I think it would be really good to see more. For Pirate101, they're making up new ideas as well as bringing back old ideas. They've also learned things from Wizard which they could apply to Pirate. However, they're still very much in the hiring process. They already have at least 2 more for the team to possibly touch Pirate. Once they have new folks, they have to re-examine how Pirate development looks and how expanding the level cap works. They're currently looking to make a new update with the existing Wizard team without disrupting their schedule. When it makes sense, they could bring side activities from Wizard to Pirate, but a lot of the code is different, and in some cases it would be better to do a different system. Some features, such as inventory locking, which is already implemented, may be simpler to implement. Crafting and fishing won't come straight across to Pirate. They have other ideas in mind. Finally, they're going to announce a Pirate101 roundtable soon. Please stay tuned while they ramp up things in the first half of the year, but there may still be more coming within that time. This is really exciting to me. I love Pirate101, and I've gone on record saying that. I think Pirate101 is a really fun game that a lot more people should try out. The main issue is obviously the fact that it hasn't seen an update in about 7 years. I'm really excited for new updates to come. My main thing I'm excited for is actually UI changes and borderless full screen and all that, because obviously that is almost instrumental for a 2020 game, along with having 2 monitors. It's just going to be really nice. Also, like, different UI scaling. Just overall, I'm really excited for what they could do with the graphics before the Worlds, to be honest, because I think that's what needs touching the most. Wizard development is going as usual, but it's too early to talk about anything. They're furiously working on the last parts of 5th Age PvP, but they're also working on features more narrative in nature. They have many exciting features to come. Stay tuned for some Wizard news in regard to Gamigo. So interesting, you know, just something to keep note of. Generally, they expect a slightly lower population than the last quarter of last year. It happens every year. The game isn't dying. They're actually tracking higher than their current population goals. Apparently, the population goal is going higher than average, so that's good to know. That's a cool little thing. Maybe if they work right, they can get it actually increasing over time. So we'll see. They aren't planning on changing stitching to gold anytime in the future. This doesn't surprise me in the slightest. Stitching is definitely, I'm not going to say one of their main methods of getting crown purchases, but it's definitely up there, I would say. Name/gender change is on the long-term list of things to do for both games. That's good. I'm happy to hear that, PogChamp. That's a really good feature. I hope that they actually do that in the future. They have plans for KI Live and enhancements later this year, which includes new equipment. So cool, more KI Lives, more stuff for me to comment on. Pirate101, if there's one thing you can magically add to the game, what would it be? Falmea says event systems similar to Wizards, weekly activities. I don't necessarily agree with that. I barely do the weekly activities in Wiz, but who knows? Maybe it's a really popular thing that I just don't partake in. Ratbeard, all of the Wizard players trying to play Pirate. For design specifically though, ship combat revamp. I actually agree with this. I know a lot of people don't really like Ratbeard's changes, but I think that this right here is actually really something to focus on, because I do think getting Wizard players to try Pirate is really, really important for the longevity of actually getting Pirate to survive. On top of that, ship combat is definitely something I think needs a revamp. That's something that I've always found to be a little bit meh in the game. I think it's my least favorite part of the game. So, you know, that would be good. And I hope that they work on something. Sam says, side activities, events in general for people to do besides quests. There's been a bunch tossed around in the past, but one or two of them cargo could do really well. And DCS says cargo system. So I don't know exactly what the cargo system is. Someone will have to enlighten me. But it is cool that they're thinking of more side activities to do, because I definitely think that's one thing that Pirate 101 lacks. Pirate 101's main draw is actually just the story and the PvE. There isn't really anything huge besides that. I know that PvP exists, but obviously there isn't really a player base to actively PvP with. So realistically, it would be cool to see some side systems. Lemuria was the first name they came up for with the world, but it took a long time to come up with. Also, design sounds like design. I'm assuming there's a joke there. I don't really know it because I wasn't in the stream, but yes, design sounds like design. They literally said this in game. I don't know if people didn't know that or if it's a joke. I don't know. Whatever. Pirate 101, DCS will look into stitching for the Superfan headphones. That's cool. I don't know why they can't be stitched, but they can't be apparently. As they go through script writing, the first big thing they produce is quest documentation. They're scripts, but hard to read since every page is a quest goal along with dialogue. They take that and strip all the dialogue out, sort speaker names, and then give them to actors in the booth. That's interesting. This could just be me, and I don't know how the industry works, but that does not sound like the most efficient way to do it. I don't know if there is a more efficient way to do it, but that sounds extremely inefficient. I could be wrong though. I don't know. And if anyone's ever worked in that field, let me know. Is that how it usually is? Because that sounds extremely inefficient. They've started the process of re-examining spell elements and their role in the game. In version 470, they started with smaller things like integrating them into Scroll of Fortune and Adventure talents. This milestone, they're expanding on that and feeding into the long-term plans, which they plan to detail in an upcoming dev diary. So that's good to know. I really do hope that they actually follow along with what I've, said in the past, where spell elements really need to be incorporated into PvE and incorporated in a big way. I think if they did that, combat would be more dynamic and more interesting. So hopefully we see that. They know gear chase is important to players, so they have to reevaluate distribution in the game as something that happens while you're questing. They've also had to consider how to make less desirable stats more desirable. They've been discussing introducing new stats in the future. Basically, they want a more interesting gear to stat chase. They don't want players chasing only damage and resist. I think this is really cool. I think this is something that they need to do, because right now this game is extremely min-maxy, and I know that not everyone agrees with that, but I've heard some people call my death stats trash when it's yeah, okay, I could have I could get up to 160 damage, I could get an extra 10 resist, or I could have max power pip, max accuracy that I have, and have a decent setup, I would say. So I think a lot of people only see damage and resist as stats. They don't see the other stats, and it is important to me, and I think important to the game as a whole, that they actually try to expand beyond this. So that's exciting to hear. I don't know exactly what a new stat could be, but I'm interested. So hopefully they create something interesting in the future. Just under 5,000 people gifted the Scepter of Tribute in 2021, about 400 less than in 2022. For mounts, the new Fangle is the most bought mount one more year in a row. The yellow candy cane is the least popular mount overall. That's not surprising. Yellow is a bad color. The level 50 Life Henchman has always been the most popular, while the level 110 Balance Henchman is the least popular. That's interesting. The least purchased thing in the game is the Confectioner's Staff and Chrysalis Furniture set, with 0.02% of all sales being that. That's interesting to know. Just some cool little statistics. Between 1 to 3% of people who have the Lemuria spells have them maxed out in spell elements. I definitely see that this is a problem, especially with the spellman system. If only 1% of people are maxing out their spellman spell, that means that the spellman system isn't in a good state, and I think that definitely shows. So hopefully we see some changes in that regard. Celestia was the hardest world to work on since they were really ambitious. It's probably their biggest single release world, and it was a lot to do at once. Half the character art was outsourced, it was way too ambitious, and they scaled back to have a more consistent theme. Azteca isn't bigger in terms of art assets, it just feels bigger. For Sam, the biggest headache was the catacombs under Wizard City, since it was very specific what they had in mind, and it became really hard to implement, with some designers a bit angry with them. So that's interesting to know. It doesn't exactly surprise me. Celestia does have a very ambitious scale in terms of varying textures and different character art, so it doesn't really surprise me that that it was very ambitious at the time, and Azteca definitely doesn't feel bigger to me in terms of art assets, so that's interesting. Just some little cool trivia. The most purchased pack is still consistently the Mega Snack Pack, which shame on you guys. I made a video like 2 weeks ago saying why it sucks, so you guys better listen to that and not buy the Mega Snack Pack, because if you buy the Mega Snack Pack, shame on you. I'm ashamed in you. Don't do that. That's bad. Most of the changes they've been making for 5th Age revolve around 1v1 rank, but systems they're making now can apply to other match types, especially leagues. League rule sets could use old turn-by-turn system or the new turn system, so they have 2 different leagues for that. They could even have a first age PvP league. Your elo is specific to that league, so if you want to play in a 2v2, you can't use that to boost your ranking in a 1v1. They'll look into what they can accomplish with the league system first, and then what will be popular with the players. After that, they'll look into weirder leagues. So I really don't know anything about this because I'm not a PvP person. Sounds interesting. All I know about League is that it is a frustrating game. I'm assuming that's not even what they're talking about here, but that's fine. DCS has passed on a suggestion to Artie for increasing the Lunari cap beyond 5k. I don't know anything about Beast Moons, so I don't know anything about Lunari, but maybe this will be good. Seems like a good idea. Castle block tilting is not coming anytime soon. An artist spent quite a bit of time on it, but it needs extra coding done and is not a priority right now. Vanessa can say there's definitely more plushies coming. I really hope one of them is Glock Ambrose. I didn't buy the Gamma plushie, and you know, I probably wouldn't buy most plushies. I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's as bad as people say. I know some people get like extremely angry, but I would like to bring up the double standards, because I definitely think, I bet you that there's a lot of those people who are like, oh, this game needs advertising, this game needs, you know, this game needs a wider reach. And then those are the same people that go hating on King's Isle for releasing a plushie. While I don't think it's the best idea for advertising, I definitely think it's a step in the right direction, and it's a way to actually push the game. I know people just see it as another money grab, and yes, that is what it is, but that's what everything is, so I don't know what to tell you. I personally don't think more plushies are a bad idea, and I do hope they see a actually like a wider audience, you know? Maybe it'll drag in some new players to Wiz, who knows? Pirate101, they're certainly going to need to look into if any companions, such as the Monkey King and Hercules, need to be buffed. They built the later world's companions expecting them to grow powerful as the player progressed. Beard will definitely look into buffing older companions to adjust from their former expectations, so that's good because I know that some of the companions in Pirate weren't nearly as good as others, so it'd be cool to see them be buffed. And finally, for Pirate101, Armada gear such as Deacon's full set would be cool to implement, but no promises. Sam was adamant about waiting until the Armada was defeated for that sort of thing, but it's possible now. It would have to be obtainable from a really cool accomplishment though, so basically they're just talking about different gear sets. But that's really it for today for this KI Live. I will say this one didn't seem as packed as some of the last ones have been in terms of things, but there are some interesting things like them working on new stats, the new spell element system that they're trying to accomplish, and then some news about Pirate101. So overall, very interesting. I would say those are the things to focus on, and I'm really excited for the future. I definitely think that there are some good things to come if they do it right, and you bet that I'll be going over that dev diary for the spell elements when it comes out. So let me know what you think. Do any of these things sound, you know, bad, detrimental? I don't think anything here was necessarily bad. Are some of these things actually exciting changes? Because I definitely think they're exciting. So I'm curious to know. But that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. I will see you in the next video. Adios.